This is a magic show of life and death. Women are chained to each other, then count down for 3 seconds. A crack. The woman fell into the tank. She'll be here in 60 seconds. Break the chain, finish the escape. Once it's timed out, on top of its head a tens. Or thousands of hungry rugby. They'll tear her shreds. At first, the woman undid her handcuffs with great skill, and I'm happy to interact with the audience. But the next second, the accident happened. Her anklet was dead and stuck. So she called out to the audience outside in horror. A strong man found a big iron bar. But it's making me feel good. I couldn't break it. Fortunately, in a crisis, the woman yanked the anchor out. But I'm still a little late. The pumas pulled down right after everyone. I'm still in sexual folio. I can't believe a woman is intact in the crowd again. It was exciting and exciting. A good magician like her. There are 3 more. Danny is good at heartbreak. Pick a beautiful little sister for the show. He first let his little sister remember a card in her heart, then opened the deck again. Asked the little sister if she has the one she wants. The little sister answered no. Then he threw the car quickly into the air. The building of the back directly lit up in the shape of a car. Yes, it was the car that the little sister remembered. Just make my sister happy. Coming up, it's a time witness a miracle. I'm your biggest fan. I can tell from the way you are attacking my face right now. Closing the door doesn't sound good to her. He's a master. Hanson. AJ. Just when everyone was cooling for something amazing, only to be caught by the charlatan, lost $100 in vain. Wait for Jack to leave, then find their wallets and watches. Is in a Jays hockey. The last one. It's the Hibbited Wiki. He tapped his fingers softly. Not only is the girl out of control, can't even say a word. All 4 of them were chosen by a mystery candidate. Everyone receives a tarot card. It's the High Priestess. She's got Danny's a lover. Ajay is death. Mother Wu is a hermit. 4 people. According to the arrest left on the card, came to an empty room with the help of a magician. Unique tip: Shelley put the flowers in a bath, the water and it flows automatically into grooves and ground the dry. I quickly absorbed heat from the water. A thick flower of smoke overflow. Mother Wu would, as the bulk triggered the projector in the room. Immediately projector fired the image before the shot. Who the hell got them together? What is the purpose? None of it could make heads or tails of it. Only the ones who show up before them. It's an elaborate revering for magic. A year later, the 4 of them stage a show in Las Vegas. A show of magic that shocked the world because they are going to be on stage in front of thousands of people. Rob any bank in public. How easy it is to have 3 different audiences pick a number at random and finally for the seat number, and the lucky viewer says anything about a bank. But I didn't think the man turned out to be French. And that means magic shows are much more difficult. The 4 horsemen are in Las Vegas. Robbery 1,005 miles away. The man was put on a conveyor helmet, and then from Danny draw a card at random, sign it. Then they'll leave the brandish to silk, creating an arbitrary door. The man went up. They are going to be here in 10 minutes. Take a man from Las Vegas to Paris. Bank advanced for a transmission initiative. In the shock of the audience image from the big screen, the man is actually being teleported to inside the BMT Paris vaults. Look at the hill or build in front of you. A man can't delete his eyes. Danny calls him. Put the card you just signed and tickets up. Put a nice entrance, put it in the money pile, then press the button on the helmet. Instant a powerful win. Got the money in the pipe, and the next second at a convention in Las Vegas. Immediately it began to rain money. In the meantime, the Bank of Paris just got started. Staff opened the wall. Hundreds of millions of euros in it, and it's really all gone. Leaving only one clue that they're not such a large bank. Immediately alerted the FBI. Rose is in charge of the case. Who's the suspect? Obviously. It's the 4 horsemen. But they are not panicking because there were tens of thousands of people there. You can give them an alibi. Besides, if we convict them, it's like admitting their magic in the world. Spreads the word. I guess it's just a joke. Can't help it. Use lack of evidence, Rob has let it go. Questions the Frenchman instead. Turns out he was hypnotized by Rude Knight. I don't know anything about it. It doesn't look like it was a job. Just as Rob was at his wit's end, things are turning for the better in the audience. At night, there's still one sitting. A man of great renown. He secretly recorded the whole present of the magic. He picked up the glass and then shake it gently. The boiled water turns into red wine in an instant. He's not a magician, but a man whom all magicians ate. He opens his hand. Turns out it had red eye on it. The old black man was a magician before him, but he thinks it's too slow. And they broke the rules to do a full-time magic show. The old man led Rod back. Yesterday's crime scene revealed how the four knights are coming from thousands of miles away to rob a bank. He put Rod in his helmet, stepped through any door. The assistant then activates the switch and dropped him right into the ball. So the four knights are below the stage. One restored the bank's vault and it looks like a randomly chosen audience. And I got caught up in the lottery. The Frenchman. It was a target in the first place. Under the hypnosis of the four horsemen from Paris to Las Vegas. Sitting in a certain position to watch the show and then, without knowing it, to be a lucky audience. As for the lack of money in the BNP Paribas, this part is a little crazy. Said he was hiding in front of the delivery truck. He then hypnotized the cash delivery driver, replaced the real deal with a fake one made of magic flaming paper after a fire shadow burn without any smell or ash. The whole robbery has been confused since then. But that's just the old man's theory. There is no substantial evidence. Waiting for the second show of the four hookers. Let's see if we can catch a break. It was a shocking performance of magic soxorific waki. Put all the spectators in the envelope, write down your bank's balance, then lift it to your quarry. Because Arthur was also invited to stage bills, the envelope must of course be larger. The bank balance is a good $144 million. Coming up. Who asked the audience to eliminate their envelopes with a small torch uttered with a flashlight. In a few seconds, the audience found themselves writing the balance on the paper. A few more figures out in air and correspondingly the rich man's check. But it's Wimbledon. Utters a little flustered. He knew that the fortnight magic was real. Sure as hell is. The audience received messages from the bank. I really have a lot of money on my account. It turns out that tonight's audience are insured by Arthur's insurance company and after the accident, by the other side's legal team through the voice. Not long after they found that a chip had been implanted in their phone in a fierce pursuit of the police jack unfortunately out of the carport. Based on the information they left behind. Police have located before orphans text target. It's a safe in a warehouse with $500 million in cash. When all the cops get to the warehouse, the safe in it had long since disappeared. Originally there was an agent who was hypnotized. Orders were given to move the safe. The police dialed in force to stop the delivery truck. Fortunately, in time this time the police got a head start. They decided to keep the truck moving, trying to find out. And then when we got there and the guy who showed up with Blackie, the police find it criminal. Thinking he's the one behind the four horsemen. Suzuki was speechless. Wait for the safe to be open. It's in there. It's just a magic balloon. They are falling for it again. In the meantime, a building in London was illuminated with brilliant lights 3 nights. Coming up on the roof starts the last show. The director himself led the chase, and it turned out to be a dummy. The real three horsemen appeared on the roof next door. After a quick hello, they just jumped off the roof into $1 million. Here comes the perfect curtain halls. But this is when Rose found out lost bill. It's all fake money with 4 horsemen on it. So where the hell is the $500 million bill? Evidence, physical evidence, everything is like he was just made a scapegoat. Facing the queries of Rogue. He refused to admit that he was behind it. But if it wasn't for him heels. Could it be old Blackhead is saying all sorts of Getty? It would all be set up by the 4 horsemen. The safe wasn't even touched. It's like using a mirror to make a rabbit disappear. The 4 knights use a huge mirror concealed a safe by a vine. Wait for everyone to withdraw from the warehouse. You just have to trace the mirror. The real safe is right in front of us. This is the time to shoot for money. No matter how much noise it's made, no one will notice. So who's the guy who came back for the money? It was Jay. He's not dead at all. Don't forget for the tarot, he got to death. It was on the viaduct. For riders, many people, many cars using blind spots remotely control another car in a curb. Let the police think of a car accident. Was large, but it's really just a house stolen from a mortgage. Suddenly, he seems to understand something. Turn around and look. Rod. He was just in his cell. He just disappeared. Rod is the mystery man. Thomas the magician, the mastermind behind all this. And the reason he did it. To avenge his father's death. His father was once a famous magician, but it was because Bucky turned his magic. It's a one-time mystery forced him to take a chance on a newest patriot. And I lost my life for a variety of reasons. And the victims of these 3 magic acts, the big boss of the NT, Parrot, Arthur and Wacky, is one of the factors that led to the death of Lord's father. So he spent 16 years choreographed 3 magic shows, made them all paid. If all the magic had been uncovered, then isn't there a lot less funds as well?